Hello there and welcome to Business 24. On this show, we provide profound analysis on business news in Nigeria, Africa, and the world. And in the studio with me today is a business analyst, Laide Akano. Laide, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice being here with you.
Yeah, by the way, I'm Michael Nath. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll bring you more as we get you headlines in today's papers. You're welcome back. Now to the headlines. Nigeria's gas reserves can sustain West African markets. How is this possible?
Well, good to say. Well, the gas reserve is there in the land, natural resource. My hope is just that, let me put my concern rather, is just that we should own this technology and not just do it like we do with petroleum products now, where look at what we have. We have the crude. We don't have the technology. So we can only export. Now that our refineries need turnaround maintenance, we could not do it as a nation. So we still export crude and import fuel. So for this gas reserve, I hope we can own the technology. That's my concern. Good. The reserve is there for us. But then, as we are looking at the reserve, let us look at maybe if we over tap the resources, is there a likelihood of a natural disaster in future? Because when Japan tapped too much into this iron ore, they started having disasters.
It had repercussion, future
so,
repercussion.
So, I can tell you, 100 years, 200 years. So,
all right, next, federal government's dilemma on subsidy persists as oil price hits $70 per barrel.
Well, the problem there is that there has been a lack of sincerity of purpose on the part of people handling the petroleum industry in Nigeria. And it's a Nigerian thing. If you remove subsidy, remove subsidy. But then the moment you remove subsidy, invest that money you have been wasting, because I will call it waste,
okay,
on subsidy all along, in infrastructure development, in things that Nigeria can see, in something tangible, so that we know that if you are buying petrol, PMS, for instance, which is the commonest everybody buys, let's say if you are buying it for maybe 300 naira per liter, but then we'll be paying much, much less for electricity. We'll be paying much, much less for food, and other things. Then we can go to the hospitals and see that, yes, money has been removed from subsidy, but it has been invested in the hospital. There, yes, money has been removed from subsidy, but then we won't have problems with ASU strike and all sorts again. Then minimum wage can be paid by all states, even the minimum wage, which is not even a living wage already. So, sincerity of purpose is the problem here. So there's nothing like dilemma. It's like everybody's looking for what to, get from it, which is unfortunate. It's like, it's a Nigerian thing, but it's quite unfortunate.
All right, well, we move on from there. NNPC didn't remit 4 trillion naira into federation account.
And then it's not my headache. You get my point. It's not your headache. It's not the headache of the ordinary Nigerian. If an NPC does not remit, there are many agencies of the government that just do things as if they are an authority or a country on their own. If an NPC does not remit, okay, who is in charge there? Is this the CBN? We have the Senate. We have the House of Rep. Let somebody call somebody to order, because that's why we should have check and balances. If where is the money? Is it in Nigeria bank? If it's in a Nigerian bank, let that bank be sanctioned. So until we start getting things done, like there was a time I did a post on one of these social media. I said, Nigerians, you want Nigeria to be like China all of a sudden, but then you didn't take the
steps China did, yeah.
Because of recent, one of their top officials, for just how much bribe he took just to influence something, he was sentenced to death. And before he was executed, he even apologized, to the entire Chinese people, to his family, to his friends, to his children, that he brought the shame upon himself.
And on top of that, he was executed.
And he then apologized to society not to take it out on his children, that they are on their own, he was on his own.
Can Nigeria ever think of doing this?
So if we want to get to that level where we will now say, okay, the problem in Nigeria is institutions are weak. You know, we have personalities that are stronger than institutions in Nigeria. You know,
And that's
Senate will invite somebody, you won't go, and nothing will happen. So that's the problem.
And that's quite unfortunate. Now, Nigeria can save 3.7 trillion naira by gutting inefficient MDAs. What's your stand on this?
Just about what I said now. You know, there is a lot of duplication in all these ministries, departments, and agencies of the government. The problem is, by the time they have one, maybe it happens to be situated, let's say in Calabar. Somebody will not just look at, why don't you have something like this in Bauchi or in Ibadan? You know, they now create another agency overlapping the one that has already existed. They just change a few things, call them different names. So you never find that all of them are just guzzlers. They just guzzle money without doing anything. Look at Nigerian whatever research. After 25 years, they asked them in the Senate of recent, like it made the news about 3-4 months back.
Yeah.
What have you achieved in about 38 years of their existence? There about the man, you know, it's like, I don't know how somebody can be that shameless before the Senate and on national TV saying that they have developed technology for making cliche. So appalling, you know. And you are supposed to be a research institute.
Okay.
So,
but Kilishi, it's not a bad idea. That is one of our local products that is exportable.
So in 38 years, he was not even talking about research
Okay,
to
now
preserve
I
it.
get
He said technology to make it better.
Okay.
It's like in 38 years. I mean, what's
quite appalling, really. And finally, on the headlines today, COVID-19 pressure holds Nigeria remittance inflows by the jugular.
Yes, it has to be, because if you look at it very well, private remittance from Nigerians in the West is a lot. You know, people supporting parents, supporting siblings, supporting friends, or not trying to invest at home. Now, they are not working. If you look at UK, for instance, the lockdown subsides up till March, and they are saying there's a likelihood it could be extended. So the people who will remit money on are not working on their own. That's the whole of UK, and that's where you have many Nigerians. When you talk of Europe, same thing in Italy, in France. Then America too has not actually come out of the situation. You know, Congress in the US just passed $1.3 trillion relief package for their citizens. You know, so many people have not been working, and it's only from what you earn that you can give out. So when all you can do now is maybe survive on what government provides you, the stipend government gives you. That's in the West, I mean. So how can they remit money home? You know, and so everybody understands. COVID-19, we're only looking in this part of the world that it didn't hit us very, very bad. You know, it didn't hit us very, very bad. Where it
would have been terrible.
It would have been terrible.
That's very true. Thank you very much, Laide. We'll get back to you subsequently. For now, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you more on Business 24. You're welcome back. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has introduced the Naira for dollar scheme for diaspora remittances, which offers recipients of diaspora remittances through CBN's IMTOs to be paid 5 Naira for every $1 received as remittance inflow. Now, the scheme takes effect from today, that's March the 8th. Laide is still with me here in the studio. Laide, what does this mean?
Well, it means a lot, and one, it's a good step because that is like a rescue mission on the part of the CBN. Because that tells you that, one, the dollar reserve of the country is, terribly depleted, and then there's a need to shore up that reserve. That's number one. Two is to discourage people going to the black market, because if, let's say, CBN and the banks will buy dollar from you, if you have dollar as a Nigerian, they will buy it at X amount. Black market will buy at XY amount. So Nigerians prefer. That's where I have a problem with Nigerians. All of us, let me give you this analogy. A Nigerian who is in maybe telecoms, whatever he is doing, to protect his own selfish interest, for instance, but then damaging the national interest of the country, to him it's not a problem, in so much as he's still doing it and he's making some money. But this same person will now complain about other sectors, like maybe the police. He will complain about sectors, maybe electricity and stuff like that. But everybody has to realize that what we do collectively affects all of us together. Now, if you say because the Aboki will buy dollar from you at maybe 10 naira more or 20 naira more than banks will buy from you, and you prefer to go to the Aboki, don't forget that the Aboki is not the institution. That's the Aboki collectively now. That handles business for Nigeria, that handles international trade for Nigeria. So, and the more you don't have enough dollars as a country, the more expensive things will be to buy for us. Everybody sees it, So, but some people are just happy that if dollar is 1,000 naira today, some people are happy. They just want to make that money into their pocket.
Yeah.
But then it will affect Nigeria as a nation. So that means what you buy for 20 naira initially, you are going to buy it for 200 naira. And then all of us will start blaming government. So that is one. Another thing is, look at things we should not rather worry about getting from outside Nigeria, except maybe, if it should happen at all, maybe 1 in 1,000, education. Everybody who can afford wants to let their children go outside Nigeria to school. It's unfortunate. The amount of dollars, that Nigerians from here spend on the education of their children, because they want their children to school in Canada, in the UK, in the US, in Cyprus, in China, and all such countries. And they now take Naira here, convert it to dollar to spend, over there. So it puts a lot of pressure on the demand for dollar here. That is why you see, if back in the days, you only find malams selling Naira, it's like the black market, as it is called, on the island, and maybe part of Ikeja. Now you find it everywhere, Agege, Ogba, that's in Lagos now, and in many other major cities in Nigeria. Is that bad? Then a lot of people, if not for COVID, a lot of people would have gone for medical checkup abroad. So
yeah, that's certain.
So all these things, and you don't go there and spend Naira. So that means you have to get the dollar here. So demand for dollar is too high as Nigerians. That's another one. Another thing is, some people are so crazy that they won't eat biscuits here. I've seen somebody who, if he has his way, although a woman, if she has her way, she will use toilet paper made maybe in the UK or in the US. Some people are that crazy. It's as if anything made in Nigeria is not good enough.
It's inferior.
So there are many people like that, and even if there are only 1 million of them, you can imagine how much they are throwing, how much Naira they are throwing after dollar to get all their foreign to meet up with their foreign taste. Look at furniture, look at many things. A lot of people, they just want it from Italy, they want it from France, they want it, as if it will add any value particularly to their persons.
The next question I would love to ask is, what possibly necessitated this policy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the background I'm giving you. Now, so for so long, CBN has been trying to show up with from Nigeria's reserve.
Okay, yeah.
So Nigeria has been trying to create a balance. So if, for instance, if market demand, you know, in economics, market is determined by demand and supply. So by the time there's so high demand on the dollar, CBN will take from our reserve just to, you know, show up.
Okay.
So that is leading to depletion of the reserve. So at this time now, the new arrangement is that it's like a promo. You know, because you can't control people's behavior. You know, it's been difficult controlling these people's behavior. You know, except you as a Nigerian think on your own that, well, I want to think Nigerian, I want to buy Nigeria. But it's okay. Let me give you an instance. Even people in the National Assembly, we have innocent motors in Ninewi or where it is.
Yes,
we have a number of assembly plants in Nigeria here. The whole National Assembly, or maybe House of Reps, wanted to buy vehicles some months back, sometimes in 2020. You know, despite COVID, despite everything, they went to buy Toyota. They didn't buy from Nigeria, they imported everything. So that's the kind of problem we are talking about now. So CBN decided, okay, 5 Naira for every dollar remittance. This Naira, you know, I don't want to call it just like, it's more or less a paper now compared to dollar. And that's unfortunate, because when I was a child, I remember a time when dollar was like 80 kobo. $1 like 80 kobo. I remember very well. That was when 50 Pujo, you know, average vehicle, average saloon car, was sold for 4,000 naira.
Wow.
You just say 4,000 naira then, but then it has a lot of value. You know.
Then.
Now, and don't forget that we are a mono economy. You know, it's like we only rely on our crude oil, and we are not the only petroleum exporting country
in the world.
You know, and even look at agri, which government is trying to revolutionize to the end of foreign exchange. Some people will tell you, they will swear that they won't eat Nigerian rice. So unless the rice comes from Cotonou, it's American long grain, and all is just nonsense. So people won't eat even local poultry. Now, so what CBN is trying to do with Naira for dollar is, if you have, it's like you can't have just $1 anyway, you know. But let's say you have $1,000, that, and you earn 5 Naira on every dollar. So if that 1,000 Naira, $1,000, let's assume it's supposed to earn you 10,000 Naira initially. You know, I don't know. Just for this simple analysis, if it was to earn you 10,000 Naira initially, then on every dollar you have a bonus of 5 Naira. So you now calculate this 5 Naira in 1,000 places.
Yes.
So that's 1,000. That's 5,000 Naira. So that means you have the value for your money. Then you have this bonus. So it's just to encourage people, so that instead of going to the Aboki, so take it to the bank.
And to what extent do you think this will be effective?
Yeah, it will be highly
especially
effective.
When you consider the amount of money in question here.
It will be highly effective. You know, it will surprise you that there are people who have as much as $10 million cash in Nigeria as we speak. I mean, it's like we have seen it happen. We have they have dollar as much as $2 million was discovered, owned by one Yakubu of NNPC. You know, dollars have been abandoned, discovered in the airport, and runs in $2 million. So I know that there are people who have so much dollar here. But another thing is, you know, if you say Naira for dollar, I say promo. But there is this policy of the government that if anybody brings any money into account, you know, there should be an alert on that. So I wonder how government will now try to balance the two, so that people will not say, okay, it's a bait, it's a trap to get. But there are many people who have money, they cannot explain the source of.
Yeah.
So
but no matter how good this policy may seem, some experts still have a different opinion. While some buy the idea, some are against it. Which way would you go?
Well, I would go for it, but then what I would advise is, it should have a time frame, you know, so that, because trust Nigerians, we will always find a way around everything, you know. So it's novel. So let's have a time frame, 6 months, 3 months, 1 year. Let's have a time frame and let the people behind it be sincere, so that you don't spend maybe 5 billion naira and you now come to tell Nigerians you spent 10 billion naira. So if it's 1 billion naira you spend, let's know the amount of dollar
of money involved
you got, you know, that used, you know. Banks do it now. If banks want to promote savings, they will say put 5,000 naira in your account and let it be there for 3 months, you know, and you can win 1 million naira. By the time 5 million people, by the time all over the country, by the time 1 million people drop 5,000 naira into their account, you know how much that is?
A lot of money.
That's about 5 billion naira.
Sure.
And maybe just one person will just win 100,000 or maybe a few people. But then that money has stayed in the account for 3 months. So it's crowdfunding. It's a kind of a crowdfunding thing. But then everything still boils down to sincerity of purpose on the part of CBN. So, you know.
All right. Thank you very much, Laide.
You're welcome.
I'm still going to come back to you, okay? Right now, we'll take another break. We'll come back with more. Don't go away.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
This is Business 24, and we warmly welcome you back. Experts in the country's business sector have urged the federal government to focus on boosting the production value chain rather than funding households. Now, Laide is still very much around. What do you make of this stuff?
Well, production value chain, fine, but the first thing to look at is, let's even look at where does Nigeria have comparative advantage, you know, because you are not China, America, and some of these countries who can compete favorably, you know, in various sectors like manufacturing, technology, IT. So let's look at where we have comparative advantage and focus. So production value chain, if it is like agricultural produce we are talking about now, that means we want to take our agriculture to a level where you don't have harvest, surplus harvest, and you see everything go to waste. Look at tomato, for instance, or some fruit like mango. When they are in season, you know, top season, you have them basket, but look at dump sites, you know, so like waste bins, you see a lot of them rotting. So because these fruits, these crops have a particular lifespan, you know, they can sustain.
They are all perishables.
Perishable. Once they are off the trees, they have limited lifespan they can sustain. So if we're going to focus on that area and add the production value chain, that means you have, you know, multi-level of skills and multi-level of productivity, multi-level of employment for people. So, and we know that, well, here we have an advantage, here we can maximize. So now, developing households, if you give somebody who does not have any skill, you give him, let's say, 100,000 naira, he will end up spending the money, you know, eating and, you know,
Having fun.
Yeah. But if people are empowered, first of all, you have to people have to get skills. That's the fear I have for Nigeria going forward. You go to many cities of the country now, many cities around the country, many young people who did not go to school. Well, even in the US, even in the UK, you have some of them who don't go to school. But now, you don't go to school, you don't learn
any vocation,
any trade. Just many of them wake up in the morning, just roam the street, come back in the evening. Now, you may think age is on their side, that they have not realized what they want. But how soon does age catch up with you? Everybody in their 40s, in their 50s today, we're once 20, we're once 10, we're once 15.
Yes.
And if you look back as a 40-year-old man or as a 50-year-old man, you just realize that it was only like yesterday. So many of these children today are not learning any skill, anything. So that's the sad part of it. And all of them, they want to feed, they want to wear clothes, they want to live in a good environment. So that's why you see many of them going into cybercrime and many things like that. And where they don't succeed, they talk to crime. So which is a very big problem. So if we just limit our kind of solution or problem solving strategy to just giving money to households, is a problem. It's another problem we are creating. However, times are when it could be necessary, like during COVID-19 when there was lockdown everywhere. But it shouldn't be a permanent strategy.
Okay.
If occasion calls for it, yeah, we can do it. But then,
so it's going to be a kind of a one-off.
Intervention. But the moment situations are normal, let everybody work. God did not create us just to exist and live on what do you call it, on divine largesse. Even if you want to be a farmer, the land is there for you.
Yes, because I was going to ask you, what part of the production of the economy would you suggest should be prioritized in this very policy?
Well, I would say agriculture to start with, and then we have many things. The construction industry. Let's encourage our children to take up skills in the construction industry, because it's a very large employer of labor. If you ask around now, to get highly skilled tilers, bricklayers, welders, carpenters, those that are highly skilled, you get them from neighboring countries. So that means jobs that should be for Nigerians are now being exported, because those people come to do the jobs here. If you are building a house and you want top-notch finishing, you won't say because somebody is in Nigeria, you give him the job if you won't do it perfectly. Somebody will come from Cotonou, from Ghana, they will do the job. Take money from here, back to their country.
Thank you very much, Laide Akano, and we hope you'll come back when next we invite you.
God willing.
And that's how we've come to the end of today's show. The business still remains Business 24. The program still remains Business 24, and we'll come back again with more interesting issues to iron out on the business world. It's been my pleasure hosting the program. I'm Michael Nath.